Okay. Hi, Jessica. How are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for coming. I was really fascinated by your story, and I watched a couple of your YouTube videos. They look really good. You've got a whole lot of followers. Is this your full-time job now?
This is now a full-time job for both me and my husband. Yep.
I did want to start by just asking you to tell us the backstory because it sounds interesting. How did you get to this point, and what were you doing prior to it?
Yeah. So back in 2015, we were just finishing up university, both me and my husband. My husband Garrett had a tech startup that he created with some buddies in college, and he actually sold it to Snapchat. So we were at this time in our lives, finished college, had a little bit of money, and didn't really know what was next in life. It didn't feel right to settle down and build a house and do all of those things, and we thought we had a little bit more learning to do before we planted roots. And so that's where the idea for a little bit of traveling came up, and those were kind of the famous last words. So we sold everything and planned about 4 months of travel, and then those 4 months turned into 3 years full time, and now here we are 9 years later and almost to 100 countries. It's been a whirlwind. Never in a million years would I have ever believed you if you told me this would be my life, that I'd be traveling around the world with my children and writing books for National Geographic. But it's been quite the journey, and we're super grateful for all of the wonderful experiences we've had.
Now, did you and your husband start traveling prior to you having children, or did you?
We had traveled a little bit. We'd been to Mexico. Garrett's mom, we had worked for her. She had taken us out to French Polynesia for a trip, and that's kind of where we fell in love with international travel. But I feel like most Americans who kind of do the same thing, where they find a good place and they keep going back time and time again. That's what we did with French Polynesia. So in mine and Garrett's marriage early on, we would go there every other year or so for the first few years of marriage.
Okay, were you doing travel vlogs at that time, or just?
No, well, we would create a video for every trip. That was kind of a tradition wherever we went with our friends. At the time, we didn't have kids. We would always make a video about it.
I guess to coin a cliche phrase, your videos went viral, and that's how this whole thing started.
I do think our timing was really right. You know, back in 2015, excuse me, that was the time of the mommy blogger era. There wasn't really social media. Social media was there, but the influencing hadn't quite picked up, especially travel influencing. My husband is an avid journal keeper, so he, from the beginning, and even from the early on, before we got married, he wrote a journal every single day, would take photos, compile books of his journals. And so when the travels came about, it was very natural for him to just start posting on social media and figuring out the ins and outs of just, creating videos and putting them on YouTube. Mostly for ourselves, and then also for our friends and family. And then they started to catch on, and like you said, the rest is history.
Well, I've seen quite a few travel vlogs. There's a couple that I
Mm-hmm.
follow. Yours has been added to my list, so I'm going to be watching yours.
Great.
But what I think makes yours a little bit unique is the fact that you bring your kids with you, because a lot of
Yep.
them, I think more of them don't have children in them, right?
Yeah, we left when our kids were, let's see, one and about three when we first left in 2015, and we've got now three, and they're 12, 10, and 6.
How many trips do you average in a year?
I would say so. The kids now are in school, and we try to give them that consistency when we're home. But then every time we're on a school holiday, we're usually off. Spring break, fall break, summer break, we usually take off. So I would say we average still probably 6 trips a year, and that's us like going somewhere. But then, like I said, summer vacation, we're gone the entire summer. So we kind of go destination to destination, from June through middle of August.
Well, now at this point where you have over 1 million followers, are you doing the filming yourself, or do you bring somebody along to film it for
Uh,
you?
my husband does all the filming. Like I said, it's always been a family journal, and we want to keep it intimate for our kids. And he's got quite the talent to be able to film very well. When he hands me a camera, it's all over the place. But he can hold the camera very still, film, and live in the moment. He does an incredible job at it.
I see South Africa, I see Utah, I see Berlin, I see the Galapagos. Uh, you have to get special permission to go to the Galapagos, right? Is that right?
You don't need special permission, but you do need a visa, and I believe it's $100 per person when you arrive. So you have to go through a group, and the Galapagos does a really great job with their tourism, keeping it very clean and regulated, and I think they do a great job.
You can't just show up there, in other words. It has to
Yeah,
be,
you
yeah.
do have to go through a certified group, I believe.
So how did National Geographic and you guys hook up?
Oh man, it was back during COVID. And I remember we actually had a friend we were with. He said, "Who's your dream brand to work with?" And very quickly, my husband and I said National Geographic. And then I kid you not, the very next day, I got an email from my editor who said, "Hey, would you ever consider writing a book with National Geographic?" And immediately we said yes. I was so thrilled. It was a project I wanted to take on. I kind of booted my husband from the project, although he did all the photography. He does all the videos and the editing. He does such a great job with that. And I was like, I think this can be my space. I feel like I'm a good writer, and would really like to take this project on. So it's been a work in progress for the last 4 years, and just came out this year, and I'm super proud of it.
Well, I had a look at the PDF that your people sent, and the photographs are gorgeous.
Oh,
Did
thank you.
he take those?
I would say 95% of the photos in the book are my husband's. He
Wow,
did a
yeah,
great job.
yeah, he does have a good eye.
A lot of them on a tripod. The cover of the book was a tripod in Torre de Pine, Patagonia. And then the back, actually, I claim credit to the back, because the back is a photo of my son taken by me with my iPhone just right after nap time.
Well, I guess the technology is there that, iPhones have something like 40 megapixel cameras built into them now.
Totally.
And so it's within the realm of possibility for most people to take great photos
Totally.
like that. This is probably a really silly question. Do you have a favorite spot?
Everybody in our family has a different favorite spot. I always say New Zealand. That's my absolute favorite. I think it's so stunning there. My husband is any island, literally any island. He's a beach boy. My daughter loves Japan. My middle son, he loves the Maldives, and then my littlest, he loves Western Australia.
Have you experienced any place that you went with your children that you would not recommend people bring their children to?
No, I truly think that every country has children. So there, you can always find a park. You can always find something. There's certain places I probably wouldn't return to, but we have great experiences everywhere. I mean, it is what you make of it. So, yeah, we've been really fortunate to have great experiences.
Well, it used to be in the old days. I'm probably considerably older than you, but back in the 80s and 70s, everybody said, never bring your kids to Las Vegas, but then they totally demolished it and built it all up again. And it's really more like Disney now, where you can bring your
Totally.
kids. But back in those days, I don't think people wanted to bring their kids. We've got probably just about 2 minutes, maybe. So the book is called National Geographic Bucket List Family Travel. How did you get the title Bucket List? Where did that come from?
Well, when we first started, we kind of were throwing around some ideas of names of what we could call ourselves. I know we were thinking passport parents. That was one of the other ones we were throwing around.
It's not bad.
And the bucket list family, I think honestly, I believe it was Christmas time, and my family took a vote, and that's where it landed, was the bucket list family.
Where are you planning on next? Where's your next adventure?
Oh, next up, actually, I'm very excited. We're going to the European Christmas markets for the holidays. We have a river cruise down the Danube, starting in Budapest and going to Vienna, ending over in Germany. So we're very excited. The kids are very hopeful that Santa Claus will find them on this boat, which I'm sure he will. But I think we'll have a really nice, festive, cold holiday.
Well, I think on that, we're going to have to wind this down. Thank you so much. The book has been released?
Yep, the book is out. You can find it anywhere books are sold.
Okay, last question. Do you have a website or something,
Yep.
social media
You can
you want to give out?
Yep, you can find us online at The Bucket List Family on Instagram or on YouTube, or thebucketlistfamily.com.
Well, Jessica, it's nice meeting you and chatting with you briefly. Thank you so much for coming on this show. Best of luck with your book and safe travels.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Have a good one.